Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're having an amazing new week. Currently it is Monday, the markets are open and Bitcoin lost its value area low right here. Basically this very important support that I was talking about in the previous video got absolutely broken, and right now Bitcoin yesterday even traded below 100k, going down as much as 98.4k basically, as you can see, bouncing from our newly weekly pivot support right here, perfect to the dollar, and tried to reclaim that value area low right here, but as you can see it got rejected again from the new weekly pivot of around 102k, and also our value area low, which is currently flipped as a resistance right here. As you can see, we've held this level right here almost 5 times, as you can see right here, as support, and right now it got broken out of. So basically the structure got broken and Bitcoin is not looking good. If we look at the hard time frames right now, the momentum waves, they are still have more room to the downside. Basically it is very possible that this move will continue until the end of the month. But our RSI momentum, as you can see, got very close to that 20 line, and right now it is actually curving to the upside a bit. So it is very possible that we get some kind, again as I said, some kind of a relief pump, maybe test again that weekly pivot, or even break above this resistance right here, and then we can possibly tap this POC of around 103.8k basically. Why is that, you might wonder? Basically if we go to the Bitcoin CME futures, you can see we do have a CME future gap of around 103k.7 basically, that we still need to close. So it is possible that Bitcoin pumps back up to that POC right here, as you can see, at around 103k.8. So it is very possible that we can get that pump to close that CME gap, since they do tend to close, they are not left open, as you know. The gaps that I'm talking about basically. So if you look at Ethereum also completely smashed through its very important range that we have been consolidating, and actually I did not expect for Ethereum to break down of this range, but as you know, once Bitcoin starts dropping, then Ethereum will follow. There's just no way around it. And as you can see, Ethereum also bouncing perfectly from that weekly pivot support right to the dollar. Basically 2120 was the low for now. It is very possible that the scenario that I mentioned before, if we break down from here, it is possible that we test all the way down here to that weekly pivot support, or even the value area high of this previous range right here, which is around 180,845 basically dollars for ETH, as you know. And yeah, so basically right now Ethereum also rejecting from this weekly pivot, and the trend downside is actually continuing. So very important to look at the stock market right now to get an idea for a next move. As you can see, the stock market also struggling right now. The S&P 500 actually pumped today and got rejected once again from the 6,000 region, basically very strong resistance, these prices for the S&P 500, and right now it is bouncing from that weekly pivot of around 5,950 basically. And if the stock market continues to push to the upside, then I'm expecting, as I mentioned, Bitcoin to also continue to push and maybe even test that POC to close the CME gap, as you know. Now if we look at the open interest right now, you can see our CVD is getting lower and our open interest is getting lower. So basically on this move down there were a lot of short positions opening right here, and this is why the price dumped once again below 100k. And if we look at the liquidation heat map, if I just refresh it, in my opinion, all of the liquidity has almost been taken out. We still have a little bit right here sitting of around 97.4k, but as of right now, the major part of the liquidity is sitting on top. As you can see, we have millions and millions of liquidation sitting to the upside basically for Bitcoin. And if we look at the longs to shorts ratio right now, there are more shorts in the market as of right now than longs, as you can see right here on the major exchanges. So in my opinion, we are due for some kind of a long squeeze sooner than later, basically, to take out all this liquidity sitting to the upside basically. And we are actually, if we look at the fear and greed index, we are actually back in that fear zone for Bitcoin. So we're in that fear zone, and as you know what happens when we're in the fear zone, the next thing that happens is a pump to the upside basically. So as you know, we tend to not stay long in that fear zone. You can see right here we just stayed a bit deep down, and also here back in 2023, this was in 2024, and this was in 2025, where we even got touched that extreme greed right here basically for Bitcoin when it dropped down to that 76k level and then massively pumped to the upside. So I'm expecting some kind of the same to happen. We dip down right here, and the price will sooner or later start reversing, as you know. Also, if you look at the funding rates, they are still low. On some exchanges they are even negative. So this is still bullish for Bitcoin as long as they flick back into that positive, as you know. And for next week, we do have some news right here. You can see on Friday we do have some important news for cryptocurrencies, and also tomorrow and on Wednesday the US Fed Chair Powell, he will testify. So it is possible that we do get some kind of a move in the market while he is testifying. And if we look at some other altcoins, for example like Solana, you can see Solana almost hitting its value area low right here, bouncing from the same weekly pivot support, basically the first one. So $126 for Solana is actually very cheap price in my opinion. And it may be possible that we, after rejecting from this weekly pivot, that we come back and test actually this time perfectly touch the value area low, and then we can see some kind of a bigger push to the upside for Solana. This is just my outlook. And also Hype right now bouncing from its weekly pivot support of around $31 for Hype, right now back at 35. So after making that top right here of around $45, we got a very strong push to the downside, basically a correction of around 32% for Hype, which is a very strong correction right now. And if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, guys, the Bitcoin dominance is still pushing to the upside, but in my opinion, soon it will find strong resistance, maybe at the second weekly pivot resistance or at the third one, basically until 66%. In my opinion, the Bitcoin dominance will continue, and then it will get the same kind of a capitulation or a big drop that we got right here, and then we will be seeing the altcoins rip very much to the upside, as you know. So I'm still very bullish. If we look at Sui is not doing so well, but as you know, Sui had a massive pump when the Bitcoin dominance drop of around 100%. So this right here, in my opinion, is just a slow bleed to the downside. And once people start getting comfortable shorting right here at the bottom for Sui, then Sui will once again rip to the upside, and it will have another massive pump, maybe 100% or maybe even more. This is just my opinion for now. And this will be it for today's update video, guys. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe for the channel, and I'll see you back again in the next one. Bye.